Alright, making a video. Rough day. Just had a bad couple of days. And it's just coincidental that the pool closed. And what else? Some other thing happened too. And it's like, yeah, and it's like, whoa, all this stuff, like at the same time. And it's like, it's just so strange that coincidentally all these things piled up all at once and just kind of just loaded, just blew their load all at once on me. So anyway, I'm just really horrifically depressed now, and so that just makes it all more. But whatever, I just feel like crap. Nothing. It's just. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. Irrelevant. Sorry. It's not your problem. Personal issues. Just don't know why anybody can't tell me ahead of time what they're planning. I mean, I really don't think it's that much to ask, right? I mean, he's supposed to be my, supposed to be Robin to my Batman, and, just totally, what the fuck, man? Anyway, never mind. Doesn't matter. That part doesn't matter. That was, I expected it, kind of. So I have no right to be surprised. Anyway, so we're good. Never mind. Pretend I didn't say anything. I don't exactly know. Why am I doing this? Do we have a reason calculated? I don't think we do. So we'll not do it anymore. Alright. Oh yeah, I was worried about tripping over it. Aha. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. It'll get me eventually. Something will. That's sort of the point of this video. The eventual something. Sort of. Alright, so anyway, I'm already this far and I haven't gotten to the point. So Fede A made a video response to Anti-Contavad, responding to Rena Webb, blah blah blah. So anyway, I'm not going to deal with the prostitution subject because I think it's just all bullshit rationalization nonsense. So anyway, so first off, he did make a little thing about clarification regarding antinatalism versus efilism. And yeah, I mean, I coined the phrase because antinatalism is just such a human solution, and it goes no further, and it says nothing else. And I think it's important to make the distinction that there is a natural world that contains most of the sentient creatures on Earth, and their welfare is as valuable as our own, and it would be kind of silly to acknowledge our own futility without acknowledging their futility and doing something about it for them, because they haven't the capacity. I mean, abandoning Earth and leaving behind retarded humans would kind of be called immoral, right? And beyond that, it's basically, the statement is, the problem is intrinsic to the game. The game is broken. It's not humans that are broken. It's not humans playing the game, in some way that makes the game broken. The game is fundamentally broken. There's no way to win it. It's a game that is built on the premise that you will destroy more than you will create. It's just, that's the game. And as the molecule in its, there's no other way for the molecule to create things other than gladiators, other than machines to battle with each other, to replicate a molecule. That's what it builds. And there's nothing intrinsically or fundamentally productive in that gameplay. Alright, so anyway. And so that's sort of the point I'm getting to eventually. So Fede said something like he's not necessarily for the asymmetry anymore in terms of Benatar's book. So I guess he thinks that there is some intrinsic value in producing or making something, taking the dead and raising them, elevating them to the living status, that there's some possible way to derive a positive in that act. Because I don't think he could possibly say there's some way to extract all negative from existence. So there must be a redeeming positive in his opinion, something that is, by absolute standards, better than nothing. That there's something is better than nothing in some circumstance. And so he thinks he can make a present for the universe, that he can give the universe a perfect human baby with perfect want, desire mechanisms that somehow be so perfect that there's no way it could create a negative. There's no negative that wouldn't be compensated by some grand pleasure or something. So he doesn't really buy the argument either, then. I would suppose that our psychology is basically negative driven, that the negative comes first, the absence, the want, the desire, the deprivation, the tension comes first, and is the release of the tension, the burden from which we derive our desire. We're first made losers to want to be winners, to become winners. And the only way you can enjoy being a winner is you got to know what it is to be a loser. That kind of thing. You can't know satisfaction until you know the hunger kind of argument. But anyway, put that aside. Another fundamental element to Benatar's argument is just the idea that you can't really win. And I would argue that if I was given the choice, I'm sitting here in nowhere, and someone says to me, you may be anything on this planet. Anything. Any one of them. Pick one. You can be that thing. Live its life, including every bit of it. Birth to death. Birth to death. The whole thing. You'll live its life. You don't get to remake the life. You just get to live the life. Okay? I'm not buying. Well, what am I going to set myself up for? What life do I know in my personal life that was that grand? Oh, let's see. 15 years in the nursing home for one of my grandfathers. One grandmother, 10 years in the nursing home. One of them, lived to be 107, but the last 3 years were just horrific. Just no way you ever want to do that. Ever. Not in like a million years. Ever. But anyway. So, I'm not buying any of these lives. I'm not jumping into that skin. I don't want to be you. 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 I don't want to be any of you people. I don't want to be you. I wouldn't volunteer. I wouldn't. And I can think of celebrities. I can think of this. I can think of that. Oh yeah, celebrities. Like the ones that end up hanging themselves, in some sort of audio sexual asphyxiation thing or something. Yeah, oh gee, I can't wait to do that. I can't wait to be that impotent that I have to go through all that nonsense to get a wank. No thank you. No thank you. No sale. No wanty. No takey. So for me, personally, it's not even difficult. So I don't even have to do any philosophy to understand the matrix of my psychology and to understand the prejudice and the biases that compel us towards things. I don't have to understand the nature of hunger. I don't have to understand any of it. I just have to practically look and say, would I get off a perfectly comfy couch to go jump into one of your skins, into some human being's life, and live the wonderful, charming adventure? No. It's a simple answer. Because I can't really see how it's any cost to benefit analysis can come out reasonable. Just can't. I mean, it'd be cool to be somebody who maybe, like Salk, the great doctor who did the Salk vaccine and, cured polio and shit. That might be cool, but, again, I wouldn't want to live the life. I don't know how he died, but I'm sure it wasn't charming as hell. That's really the thing, right? If they die quickly, it didn't matter because they probably lived shittily. And if they lived a great life, often they died a horrible death. So I'm just saying, generally speaking, there's very few lives out there where you get away with it unscathed. you get a free ride. Very few free riders. And so maybe, somebody could show me the diagram of a life that's really smooth, really easy, but probably not. I don't think so. And that makes the math really easy for me. The asymmetry argument is overtly, plainly obvious. Yes, I wouldn't volunteer. I wouldn't get out of a safe, comfortable nowhere to go do that. A restful, peaceful sleep I would not disturb to, do this stuff. And certainly wouldn't do it if there was any real risk. I would feel what I'm feeling the last 2 days. No, thank you. There's no sale. No fucking possible sale. No hope of a sale. So anyway, that's a long way of saying it. I kind of over dramatized it, no doubt. But, so obviously we're coming from different perspectives. And let's say that's another thing he said that's just so wrong. He said most people need and desire to procreate and all that stuff. And I don't think they do. I don't think that's how most people get into the world. I think ignorance drives most people into the world, dumps them into the world. Lack of choices, absence of freedom. These are the things that create human beings on planet Earth. So I don't think that desire is all they claim it to be cracked up to be, kind of a thing. There are obviously some women entirely obsessed with baby making and baby having and baby playing. And but I don't think it's I certainly isn't most women, and certainly isn't any men. Well, no, certainly isn't most men. So the vast majority of human beings are not completely owned by some, horrid compulsion to get themselves obligated into pushing strollers and all that crap. The worry and the responsibility does concern them. They are wary of it. They have lots of apprehensions. I think that's the natural, normal human. And I don't think their desire is all that compelling, blinding, consuming. I just don't buy that argument. And I don't think statistically the facts demonstrate it anyway. It's a minority of human beings that have the majority of children. That's the way it works. If women start having kids before they're 18 years old, they're likely to have 3 to 5. If they start having kids after they're 18 years old, they're likely not to have more than 2. I mean, these are just facts. So we know where the procreation's coming from. And we know that most people, the longer they have, the more life they live, the less likely they are to have kids. And the only blip is some panic some women have, where they fart one out at 38 or 39. That's a real phenomenon statistically, that, there are a lot of women who have a single child, at 38. Because of some panic. Like I haven't fully used my humanness because my uterus remains barren. So they feel some panic to use the uterus because it's there. And I'm not saying it's always that way. I mean, obviously some of them have a real desire to, work their way up to the family mode thing and get into family mode. But you can also see that women supplement really easily if they don't fall for that trap of, the desperate child at 38, then they get themselves a Pomeranian, feed them turkey snacks, and they seem perfectly happy. So it seems like women are able to find ways to feed that hunger that are a lot less dangerous to human victims anyway. And probably the dogs are fairly happy with somebody who's so anally attentive to them, who sees to their every need and worry and concern. So, yeah. But I wouldn't want to be the Pomeranian. I wouldn't want to be the woman. I wouldn't want to be any of it. I wouldn't step out of nowhere into that somewhere. Oh, the pool isn't covered. What disgraceful thing happened? It didn't get done. Who knows? I didn't bring my earplugs. Well, I'm not jumping in anyway. I have chemically altered the pool's composition to make it not conducive to swimmery. So anyway, until next time.